It is officially 1 week until Jake Paul versus Fury, which has been announced for the third time, which is very interesting. But this time, like to say, there is no excuses because there literally is no excuse. The first one didn't happen. Tommy Fury had an injury, rib injury, broken rib. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't fight. They're like, all right, that makes sense. Whatever. And the second one, they were supposed to fight in the U.S. Tommy Fury couldn't because of some visa issues and all that stuff. So he ended up fighting Silva. But this time, it will be in Saudi Arabia, which, as we could tell from the picture, he can travel to. So there's no visa issue there. He's not injured. Or at least I don't think so. Meaning, the only way that this fight doesn't go through is if he somehow manages to break a bone within the week. Which will most likely not happen, because for most people, or at least most athletes, are like, oh yeah, before the big day, I take a couple days rest. So unless he trips and breaks his ACL, tears his ACL or something, the fight's going on. But besides that, they released the full undercard, the pay-per-view card and the not pay-per-view card, which is very interesting because there's 3 fights I'm interested in. There's supposed to be a 4th one, but some complications with I don't know, the other fighter H2O will unfortunately not be on the card. Really wanted him to be on the card, but whatever. All right, he'll appear again. He's not just gonna not be there. But the first fight I'm interested in is Salad, I think that's his name, versus Kellogg. Which, first of all, this is an influencer match, so the last match of the non-pay-per-view is influencers. But people say that Salad has been active in boxing. His last match was in the middleweight division against Landon McBroom, which is really weird because, there was already rumors saying that Nissan Gibb and this dude was going to fight, which is really weird because Nissan Gibb's in the light heavyweight or cruiserweight division, so he would have had to move up. But now he's fighting Kellogg at the super lightweight division, which is really weird because, like I said, he fought at middleweight, so he's moving down now. And who is Kellogg? Well, I asked the same question. I was like, who is this dude? I checked his socials. It's Evil Hero. I don't know why I couldn't tell, but it's Evil Hero. If you don't know who Evil Hero is, he was 2-0 influencer boxer until he ended up fighting Dean the Great in Misfits and got TKO'd. Top Rank and Showtime don't play around. They say, yeah, you ain't gonna be here using your nicknames, dog. You have to use your full government name if you want to fight here. And now he goes by Kellogg, like the cereal company. But how will I see this going? Well, it's very easy. Evil Hero's about to get knocked out, bro. It ain't even gonna be fair. Evil Hero, he fought in lightweight, and now he's moving up to super lightweight. Sally, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, my bad, but he fought in middleweight and is moving down to super lightweight. A whole 3-4 divisions down, because he's middleweight, super welterweight, and welterweight. And then middleweight, yeah, it's 4 divisions down. Or 3 divisions down if you want to get technical. Who do you think's going to win? It's going to be the dude that fought bigger guys. Evil Hero is good. He did really well against Dean the Great until, he got DKO'd. But he did relatively well, but this is too big of a match for him. Especially coming off of a loss. So, So, yeah. That's one of the matches. The other one is, of course, the co-main event for the WBC Cruiserweight World Champion. That is Makabu versus Jack. And we look at their records. Makabu is actually very, very accomplished with his record. He is officially 29-2, which, first of all, he's a knockout artist. By looking at all of his KO, you could tell he's a knockout artist. He has 25 big wins coming by way of knockout, and also both of his losses coming by way of knockout. So, hey. If he's going to fight, there's going to be a knockout. All I'm going to say. And he's fighting up against, like I said, Badu Jack, who is 27-3 with 3 draws. That's actually, I have never seen anyone with that many draws, actually. And he has 16 wins coming by way of knockout, and he has only been stopped once, with a knockout percentage of 48%, which is absolutely atrocious. Not to mention, we're going to talk about him first, right? His last fight was against Richard Rivera, who is a 23-1 boxer, 17 KOs, basically somewhat similar records to Badou Jack. Difference is, I thought he won. And also, come on, how do you not like this dude? This dude's nickname is Popeyes the Sailor Man. Anyways, well, he did lose split decision though. Jack won split decision. So, very obviously a close match. But I thought Popeyes won that one because he was moving around the ring. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that he wasn't the one pressing the action, but it doesn't matter. This one was bouncing off the ropes like this dude watched WWE as a kid. Like, come on. But that doesn't matter. So, he's already coming for some. He's already been beaten 3 times, had 3 draws, and has been stopped once. So, and not that big of a KO percentage. Not looking too good for my friend Jack the Ripper. I hate that nickname, dog. I don't know about you. I hate that nickname. Not to mention, he lost 2 back-to-back to a 22-0 fighter and a 34-6-1 fighter. So, not to mention he had another 2 majority draws within a whole. Like, this dude was having a whole bad year. Is what I'm trying to say. This dude was having a whole bad 2 years, man. And the thing is, they're all roughly similar in time to each other. So it's like a couple matches and then another one. But Makabu, as you can tell from the knockouts, only 4 people have ever gone the distance with him, which is very good, in terms of knockout. Bad thing is, 3 of them came within his last 5 matches. He beat one majority decision. He beat another one, literally the next one, unanimous decision. TKO'd someone, and then beat someone split decision. So, I don't know about you, but that seems like an indication that my man's power is not really doing too well at this point. But then again, you never know. Maybe these guys just had granite chins. And his only loss, and his losses come from Tony Bellew, a very good cruiserweight, and his debut. So who do I think is going to win? Unfortunately, I like Jack. I thought Jack was going to win until I realized their age. Makabu is 35, somewhat still in his prime. Not really. He's a little getting older, but Jack is 39 with very little knockout power. I don't want to say very little. He has a lot of knockouts, but, coming off of a not so great win and also 3 losses and 3 draws, not looking too good for my boy Jack. I think Jack gets TKO'd in this fight. I don't want to see my boy Jack get defeated like that. But then again, he did beat Popeyes the Sailor Man, which I thought he won. So obviously, I'm not really rooting for Jack. So Makabu will stay champion. And unfortunately, Jack will not see his dreams of becoming a 3-division world champion. Very depressing. But, in reality, not a lot of people ever become 3-division world champions. We literally saw one not complete it. You know what I'm saying? So, but, of course, the main event, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Of course, Jake Paul being a 6-0 boxer, undefeated, with 4 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Looking at his resume, the first 3, you could completely just not, ignore. Because Gibb, Robertson, and Askren, well, at least Gibb and Robertson put up a fight, I'll tell you that. Gibb tried as best as he could. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Robertson obviously tried his best, and we all know what happened to him. And then Ben Askren, I don't even know what happened. He's like one of those fainting goats. Second pressure happens, he just collapses. But his last 3 wins are very important. Of course, being a split decision win over Tyron Woodley, rematching him, and then knocking him out in the 6th round. And then fighting Anderson Silva, which was his, first professional fighter. With 3 wins and 1 loss, obviously. But one of his wins being Julio Cesar Chavez, so that's something. It was, of course, a split decision, but he still beat a former world champion. You can't deny him that. He was old. And then, we didn't get all the stuff. Oh, he was old. Well, he was old when he fought Chavez Jr., so, not really an excuse. But he is, of course, fighting Tommy Fury 8-0 with 4 knockouts. His opponents being, your usual first opponents, 10-102, 0-26, 2-26, 0-11, 0-9, and then the most recent ones are the better ones, being 2-0, 0-1, and 10-1. But one thing that, does change is that even though Tommy Fury and Jake Paul both have the same amount of knockouts, which makes Jake Paul the higher percentage because he has less wins, is that he hasn't been able to get a knockout since, 4 fights ago. Because his debut, he didn't win via knockout, but then he went on a 4 knockout streak. And then he went on a four not knockout wins. Which, you could say it all, you could talk all about it, but going 4 with no knockouts, I'm just saying that's, you can't really say you have all the knockout power. But then again, he's not that good either. You see some of his highlights, not his knockouts. He gets hit a lot more than Jake Paul. As much as I want to say he doesn't, he gets hit a lot more than Jake Paul. And the weird thing is, people are saying which one has a better resume. Oh, Tommy Fury has it because he's a professional boxer. No, Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva. As much as I hate to say that ex-UFC fighters can go out and beat these boxers, Silva and Woodley would absolutely maul through Tommy Fury's resume. It's just that weird. Jake Paul has fought the better competition. People don't like to admit it, but yeah, Jake Paul has fought the better competition. Especially his most recent ones. And not to mention, one thing that, even though, it was a unanimous decision, you take it as you will, one of his not knockouts was against Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor, who was 0-1 at the time they fought. So, not that good of a record. And he's also lost, even in Misfits, against Idris Virgo, which, first of all, he is, well, I don't even know if the sources are right, but they be saying he's a 10-0 boxer. Professional boxer out here fighting influencers. That's just straight bullying, man. What are you doing? But he did go the distance with Tommy Fury. But then again, he also went the distance with Idris Virgo, getting knocked down once. So you could say Taylor has a very good chin. But at the same time, you can't be out here saying you're better than most influencer boxers if you can't even knock out an influencer boxer. That's weird. That's like saying Slim is the best one. He knocked out all these guys. That doesn't make any sense. But one thing besides resumes, power, percentage, whatever, is mental. The mental game of boxing. People have already said, hey, Jake Paul's already gone in Tommy's head. And, looking by it, yes he has. Especially with all the smack talking about how if Tommy Fury loses, he's going to have to change his last name and stay in Saudi Arabia. Okay, maybe staying in Saudi Arabia was kind of a joke, but the changing the last name was kind of, verbally agreed on. Most likely was a joke. He's actually not going to change his name. But then again, tattooing I Love Jake Paul was also somewhat seen as a joke, but then Tyron Woodley did it. Crazy world we're living in. But how do I think it's going to work out? I got Jake Paul winning TKO only because there's another thing. And that is Tommy Fury has never been 8 rounds. Jake Paul has gone 8 rounds twice. Being against Woodley, the first match, and Silva. Not to mention he knocked down Silva in the later rounds. So, he still got that dropping power, that knockout power in the later rounds. Tommy Fury has not. And not to mention, most of his knockouts have come via the first 2 rounds, which is crazy. But then again, with only 4 rounds, obviously if a knockout's going to happen, it's going to happen really soon. But the second, he hasn't gotten a knockout past round 2. So, yeah. Well, then again, neither has Jake Paul. Actually, no, Jake Paul has knocked out Tyron Woodley later on in the fight. So Jake Paul is going to have the experience over Tommy Fury, which is really weird to say. I know, it's really weird to say that Tommy Fury, the brother of Tyson Fury, has less experience than Jake Paul. He's fought lesser opponents than Jake Paul. It's really weird. But I got Jake Paul winning via TKO. I think Tommy Fury is going to gas himself out. I don't know how, but he's going to gas himself out in the fight and lose via TKO. But if they were to win, who are they going to fight next? I mean, Tommy Fury is still probably going to fight these unknown boxers, which makes sense. He's going the traditional boxer route, you know what I'm saying? But Jake Paul would most likely end up fighting KSI, which is really weird because KSI is not even in Jake Paul's league, at all. But the thing is, obviously, KSI still has 1 fight left. But he has to fight someone, at least Silva, or Woodley, or Joe Fournier, wherever the hell his name is, to even get close to the same experience as Jake Paul. But even then, he doesn't have it. But anyway, that is the end of the video. I got Jake Paul winning TKO round 7. I think he wears out Tommy Fury and takes him out, which is really weird because, that's still gonna be weird. I can't get that out of my head. It is gonna be really weird seeing Jake Paul knock out Tommy Fury, but it's eventually going to happen. But, like I said at the end of the video, the next video will, of course, be the March 4th bout between Figueroa and Magsayo in the featherweight division. It's going to be a cool match, going to be a great match. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.